This is not a drill. We've finally got it. We've got an announcement for our new Voidhunter. And our Voidhunter is going to be an attack agent and a new element. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about here, especially the new element, but also the fact that Ye Shunguang looks like she can switch between two different forms. And we'll also talk about pull implications and what this might mean for you and your account moving forwards. So let's talk about it. So first things first, let's open up the conversation on the new element. Now, the new element looks closest to physical if we consider what we've already had before. So it can't be an ice one because we've already had an ice Voidhunter where the element got adjusted to frost for Miyabi. And then we've also had one for Ye Shunguang where the element got adjusted from ether to auric ink. So out of the remaining elements, the logo that's on Ye Shunguang's drip and also the pre-drip, if you happened to catch that yesterday. Yeah, I just said pre-drip. That element logo looks most similar to the physical logo. I think there are 7 points on each one. It just seems the most likely outcome, to be honest, that it's probably going to be physical. This is all guesswork at this point, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they threw a curveball in and maybe they made her something else, or maybe they made her two different forms, actually two different elements, and that's what this weird little logo situation is about. But let's talk about those two different forms then. So it looks like what's happening in the trailer where she's kind of bringing in the Qingming sword and then she kind of transforms and she gets all of those swords flying around her. I'll show the clip. But I think she looks absolutely sick in both forms, by the way. But there is a chance that we might end up spending quite a lot more time in one form over another. It might very well be that she has some very cool stuff built into her kit around her ultimate or decibels where she transforms automatically. And we obviously do have the new mechanic that's been introduced recently of Ether Veil, so there is a chance as well that, you know, there is some Ether Veil mechanics, and when she's inside an Ether Veil, then she goes into her super awesome state or something. There is going to be some interesting stuff here. I'm really curious to see how it plays out, and I'm obviously super interested to play her. Like, she looks so cool, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, let's talk more though about the Voidhunter treatment and if she's gonna get that full Voidhunter treatment after this reminder that you probably aren't subscribed. Like and subscribe, it's a great way to support creators like me on YouTube. You can drop me a follow over on Twitch and you can join the Discord. So what do I mean by Voidhunter treatment? So the Voidhunter treatment would mean the same as what we got for Miyabi, not the same as what we got for Ye Shunguang, i.e. they run her for the full patch. So if they run her for the full patch of 2.5, that means there's no first half and there's no second half, and it means that she just runs for the whole patch. Now, her drip has been dripped in roughly the same way as Miyabi. They waited a little while before they released her to help to build some of their expectations. They actually didn't wait until the next banner had started, which I think is pretty cool. At least we got to know early. But what it also means is it actually lends a little bit more substance to the theory that potentially we get Zhao for free. Because if they run both of them for the entirety of the patch, last time they did that was Miyabi, and we got Haramasa entirely for free. So I think that if she does run for the entirety of the patch, it'll potentially be a slightly shorter patch, much like it was with Miyabi, where it's around a month. This would be really good for free-to-play and low-spend players. It means that you have plenty of time to get the pulls needed, and it kind of means that if you don't pull Ye Shunguang, it's going to mostly be because you didn't want to pull Ye Shunguang. Her time of availability is not going to be particularly limited, so that does mean you're going to be able to pull her based on the pulls probably that we get in 2.5. I think last time back in 1.4, they gave way over 100 pulls. I'll put the number on screen now because I can't remember. So it'll give you a really good shot at just picking up Ye Shunguang if you did want her. Now, to be clear, that is what I think will happen. I think that we'll end up getting the full patch banners. I think that there are rumors floating around that say the same thing as well. However, I do want to just impress upon the importance of exercising a little bit of caution with those rumors, because this isn't necessarily, you know, like a character's animations or something. This is not something that's already set in stone. It is something that could change at the drop of a hat. It's like when we theorize about what reruns are coming, and, you know, like pre-release info leaks is never really that accurate. All of this could change based on someone just changing their mind. It's not like these characters won't be implemented and ready to go, and then we could end up getting, you know, Zhao in the first half and Ye Shunguang in the second half. But I think it will be the full patch banner. I could be wrong. Now, I should also mention as well that this probably damages 2.4's sell, I guess. And I think what most smart players should probably do in this situation is we should probably press pause, right? If you were considering picking up Dylan or one of the reruns or Ban Yue, so either the new characters or the older ones, I think you should probably press pause until we get a little bit more info on Ye Shunguang, especially if you were going to plan to pick up Dylan for Ye Shunguang. I think it'd be really smart to just press pause for a minute and see what happens with Ye Shunguang, see if you're still interested in Ye Shunguang, and then go from there. Because if Ye Shunguang is going to really want her engine, which is very similar to the way our previous two Voidhunter level agents worked, then you might very well find yourself, yes, obviously with the pulls that you get in the patch, you should be able to get Ye Shunguang, especially if you're saving for most of 2.4 as well, like if you're going to pull Dylan day one, but you might also want to consider that engine as well, because it's very likely that Ye Shunguang will have an overly specific engine that only works for her. Now, attack characters in general want like crit rate, crit damage, and like general attack stats. So we have a lot of engines that are pretty decent at providing those stats in the game right now, both from a limited S rank perspective. Evelyn's is an excellent example of like a crit stat stick plus decent attack. And then we also have Brimstone, which provides a buttload of attack. And then we also have pretty decent A rank options as well. So I'm just going to preempt the idea that Ye Shunguang may scale on something else. And the reason why is so that they can sell you on a new engine and also give you a reason to farm a new drive disc set. Now, this isn't necessarily me saying that you will have to pull the engine in any way. Like, the engines should not be necessary in Zenless Zone 0, and long may that continue. But I'm just going to set some expectations that you as a player may feel like you want it. So I think you should just make sure you plan your pulls for 2.4 appropriately. And then, as I already mentioned, you know, when Dylan comes out, you don't have to pull on day one. You can wait for a little bit more information on Ye Shunguang. You can wait till we see her in the story. There is also a chance as well that considering how hyped up she is, and also the fact that she featured heavily in the 2.4 story, there might be incidents where we get to see a little bit of her playing in 2.4. I don't think we'll actually get to play her, but you know, when there's like a character in the background and they're doing stuff, we might very well get to see a little bit of that. So you might be able to see some of her animations, as well as the fact that the longer you wait, the more unconfirmed pre-release info there will probably be around Ye Shunguang to help you make those decisions. And that's kind of up to you whether or not you want to look at that. But I guess what I am saying is you don't have to pull Dylan day one, and there is a chance that Dylan maybe doesn't necessarily work super well with Ye Shunguang. Maybe she does, maybe she's our best in slot, but yeah, it's okay to wait and then see what happens. You don't have to pull her on day one. And I think coming back to overall thoughts and feelings about the whole thing again, like the element, I'm very excited to see how that works. I'm very excited to see a development of physical. Physical, to be honest, has felt like the most overlooked class that we've had in the game, especially from an attack perspective. The representation in attackers is from 1.0, and we've got A ranks, Corrin and Billy, and we've got Nekomata. And then since then, physical DPSs have been an anomaly. We've got Jane, we've got Alice, and I'm really interested to see what a modern, super powerful, limited S rank who's going to utilize physical is actually going to end up looking like. So yeah, I'm super hyped for Ye Shunguang. I think for me personally, the more I think about this, the more I think that this kind of changes some of my pull plans a little bit. I think I was quite set on taking the 50 for Dylan, but now there is a part of me that's thinking, maybe I'll wait for more information on Ye Shunguang, and I want to make sure that I probably have enough in reserve to pick up her engine in case she scales on something different and we can't use typical attacker stat sticks. But anyway, that's a whole lot of information. I'm super excited for the two forms. Let's see what happens. As always, remember to like and subscribe for better than average luck on all your pulls. Pull responsibly, stay weird. Bye, 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 bye.